Hi, welcome to this video on my channel. If you're new to my channel, my name is Caylene and I'm here on YouTube to share tutorials of my original crochet projects. And today, we're going to be crocheting the Petal Princess Doily coaster. It's a really simple flower with a tiara around it. You can also do just the flower if you're looking for something really simple. For this project, I'm going to be using fine weight or category 2 cotton yarn. You can use larger yarn if you'd like to. And I'm going to be using a 3.25mm hook. If you're going to be using larger yarn, make sure you use the right hook size for your yarn and tension. And you're also going to need a pair of scissors, a yarn needle, an optional stitch marker, and you also might need something to measure with. So once you're ready, let's go ahead and get started. To get started, make a slip knot. Now, chain 6, and then you're going to make a slip stitch into the first chain, and you'll see that this forms a ring. You're going to be working double crochets into this ring. So first of all, chain 3, and this will count as 1 double crochet. Then you're going to work 17 double crochets into this ring, and you're going to hold this yarn tail down against your work, and you're going to be making double crochets over this yarn tail to hide it. So go ahead and do a double crochet into the ring. And continue until you have 17 double crochets in the ring. Alright, now I have 17 double crochets inside this ring. Let me count to check. Counting the first chain as the first double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So if you count the beginning chain of 3, you should have a total of 18 double crochets. Now to finish off this round, make a slip stitch into the third chain from the bottom. So 1, 2, 3, and a slip stitch. And there's this yarn tail remaining at the back. If you give this yarn tail a good pull, you can tighten up the hole in this ring. And now we're done with round 1. Now let's move on to round 2. You begin with chain 3, and this counts as the first double crochet, and I'm going to mark the third chain from the bottom as the top of the first double crochet. Now chain 2. Then make another double crochet into the same place where the slip stitch is. And now you have a V-stitch, a double crochet, chain 2, and another double crochet in the same place. Next, you're going to skip this next stitch, then into the following stitch, make a double crochet, chain 2, then another double crochet back into the same stitch. And now you have another V-stitch. Now repeat. Skip this next stitch, then into the following stitch, make a double crochet, chain 2, then another double crochet back into the same stitch. And now repeat what you did all the way around. By the end of round 2, you should have a total of 9 V-stitches with chain 2 in each V. Now to finish off round 2, you're going to make a slip stitch into the third chain from the bottom where the stitch marker is. So go ahead and remove the stitch marker and make the slip stitch. And now we're done with round 2. In the third round, we're going to be working on the flower petals, and we're going to be working into the chain 2 spaces in the V-stitches. So you start off with a single crochet in the first chain 2 space that you see here. And next you're going to make a half double crochet into the same space. So yarn over, insert your hook into the same space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Then you're going to make a double crochet also in the same space. Then you're going to make a treble crochet, so you wrap the yarn around your hook 2 times, then insert your hook back into the same chain 2 space, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over again, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops. Now yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops. Then we're going to go back to a double crochet, and remember this is all worked in the same space. Now back to a half double crochet, and then a single crochet. And now we have the first petal. We're going to finish this petal with a slip stitch in this triangular gap in between the 2 V-stitches. There you go. Now let's do one more together. So you're going to do a single crochet into this next chain 2 space here, followed by a half double crochet, and then a double crochet, now a treble crochet, now going back to a double crochet, back to a half double crochet, back to a single crochet, And finally, a slip stitch in the triangular space in between the two V stitches. And now we have two petals. So in each petal, you should have a single crochet, a half double crochet, a double crochet, a treble crochet, a double crochet, a half double crochet, single crochet, and then finally, a slip stitch in the triangular space in between the two V stitches. Now repeat this all the way around. By the end of round 3, you should have a little flower with 9 petals, and I'm going to finish this round with a slip stitch into this triangular gap in between the first and last petal. And right now my flower is about 8.5 centimeters across, and of course if you're using larger yarn, your flower is going to be larger than mine. Or if you're looking for something really simple, or a small coaster for a smaller teacup, or if you want this as a decorative part of a coaster set, you can stop and fasten off here if you want to. But I'm going to carry on to round 4 to show you how to make the tiara around the flower. Moving on to round 4, I'm going to make a slip stitch into the top of the single crochet of the first petal. And then another slip stitch into the next stitch, which is the half double crochet. And one more slip stitch into the next stitch, which is a double crochet. Now our next stitch is a treble crochet, and we're going to make a single crochet on top of it. And I'm going to mark the top of this first single crochet. Now you're going to chain 5. Then, looking at the next petal, you're going to skip the first single crochet, the half double crochet, the double crochet, and then you're going to make another single crochet on top of the treble crochet. Then again, you're going to chain 5. And looking at the next petal, skip the first single crochet, the half double crochet, the double crochet, and make a single crochet on top of the treble crochet. So that's pretty simple, and you're going to repeat this all the way around. By the end of the round, you should have a circle around your flower, and after you've made the last single crochet on top of the last petal and changed 5, instead of finishing off the round with a slip stitch, we're going to make a single crochet on top of this first single crochet where the stitch marker is. So remove the stitch marker and put a single crochet on top of this first single crochet. And that's the end of round 4. I'm going to begin round 5 by marking the first single crochet of the round, which is the single crochet that you've just made. Then you see all these chain 5 spaces around the flower. We're going to make 7 single crochets into each of these chain 5 spaces. So go ahead and put 7 single crochets into the first chain 5 space. And once you have 7 single crochets in the first chain 5 space, you're going to do 1 single crochet into the single crochet that's sitting on top of the petal. And we've come to the next chain 5 space. You're going to do the same. So put 7 single crochets into this chain 5 space. And put 1 single crochet on top of this next single crochet. And that's pretty simple too. Repeat this all the way around. You should have a more solid circle around your flower by the end of round 5, with 7 single crochets in each chain 5 space and 1 single crochet on top of the single crochet on top of each petal. And you should have a total of 72 single crochets all the way around. And I'm going to finish off round 5 with a slip stitch on top of this first single crochet where the stitch marker is. Now let's begin our final round. First of all, I'm going to mark the slip stitch that I've just made. Then to begin round 6, chain 3, skip the first 3 stitches, then into the following stitch, make a double crochet. Now we're going to make a picot stitch. So chain 3, then you're going to insert your hook into the front loop of this double crochet and the loop right next to it, and then make a slip stitch. And we're going to repeat this 2 more times into the same stitch. So double crochet back into the same stitch, and a picot stitch. So chain 3, insert your hook into the front loop of the double crochet and the loop right next to it, and slip stitch. One more. Double crochet into the same stitch, and picot. Chain 3, insert your hook into the front loop of the double crochet and the loop right next to it, and slip stitch. Now you're going to have 3 double crochets all in the same stitch with 1 picot stitch on top of each double crochet. Now you're going to chain 3, skip the next 3 stitches, then into the following stitch, make a slip stitch. And we're done with 1 repeat. Let's do another one together. So chain 3, skip the next 3 stitches, then double crochet into the following stitch. And picot. And 2 more double crochets with a picot stitch on top of each. Double crochet into the same stitch, and picot. One more. Double crochet back into the same stitch, and picot. Now that we have 3 double crochets with a picot stitch on top of each double crochet, chain 3, skip the next 3 stitches and slip stitch into the next stitch. There we go. And now you're going to repeat this all the way around. By the end of the round, my coaster is about 14 centimeters across, and you should have 9 groups of 3 double crochets with 1 picot stitch on top of each double crochet, and each group of double crochet should be sitting in between the flower petals, not on top of the petal. So now I'm going to finish off my round. I've made my last chain of 3, and you should have 3 stitches remaining before the stitch marker. And I'm going to make a slip stitch into this first slip stitch where the stitch marker is. And now that we're finished, we can cut and weave in all of the yarn ends. Thank you so much for watching to the end and following along. If this video was helpful for you in any way, please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I really enjoy reading all of your comments, so drop me a comment if you made this doily, and I hope you also find my other videos helpful. I'll be working on my next project, so I hope to see you again in my next video. Bye!